There we go. Welcome to this interview. Today I'm joined by Andreas. We just wrapped off a nice weekly call inside of Short Form Society, so we're both hot and ready here for a little interview.
Let's go.
Andreas, you were actually one of the first ones that like trusted Short Form Society like a year ago, and yeah, now bro, university and also making $5,000 per month with your agency, man. So it's been a sick journey. Um, so if you want to
For
go
sure.
give a better introduction than what I just came up with there.
I mean, it's pretty all right, man. It's pretty nice. It's kind of a good summary. I'm just pretty much a normal guy that took some other choices than most people do and did the right things every day, and I'm here.
I very much agree, bro. And I think the cool thing was that right before starting this interview, you mentioned that when you joined Short Form Society, when you would describe yourself, you would call yourself a student. And now, a year later,
Yeah,
even though that you both run the business and also, of course, study still, you would describe yourself as an entrepreneur. Can you explain a bit more about that like thought process and how it came to reality?
yeah. So I mean, I've always wanted to be a business owner, right? I've both my parents kind of run their own thing, and I've always thought that's something I want to do. I want to run my own hours. I want to do kind of what I want and get something back from the thing I actually give, right? Because I always kind of saw the hourly rate thing as like I can do the best, I can do better than everyone else, and I'll still get the same thing back. So I wanted to
Yeah.
find something where when I put in the effort, I'll get something more back from it as well. And then I looked around like what are people doing that are running businesses? What have they done? What's the normal thing to do, right? So I didn't know anything. Yeah, you come out of high school and no clue what to do, and you just see everyone like going doing things, and like you got to do something, right? Because you're sitting on the couch. So started studying, and then I realized how expensive life is when I moved out of my parents' house. I was like, shit, I need to do something here. Uh, you know, to get things to just go around. And then I was always intrigued by the online business space. All the way back in 2020, I was looking up on YouTube, drop shipping, looking up how to make money online. Everyone's probably done this, right?
Yeah.
But I was chilling, living at home, super comfortable. And it was not until I moved out, I actually started doing some things. And then I just came across you on the Instagram page there, and yeah, that was a year ago now, and I feel like I'm not almost not the same person. It's crazy to think you have so many, suddenly you have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things you have to do, but at the same time you don't really feel it's work either, right? Because you really enjoy it. Um, and I spend a lot. Of course, I spend a lot of time on the business as well, and in that mindset, in that flow. So that kind of makes me when people say, "Who are you? What do you do?" I kind of lead now. As a year ago, I'd probably lead with I'm a student. Now I would probably lead with I run a business because that's uh, what I spend the most time on right now. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's sick, right? Because it is really who you identify yourself with and the way that you think and the way that you see yourself. That is probably also what's going to become reality at some point. So I think it's really
yeah,
cool. And I think if we would have told Andreas a year ago that you would be making 5K and have employees and work mainly on your business, we would probably been like, ah, I'm also studying, I'm also doing these things and all of that. Um, but you grow with the responsibility, and I think that's sick. Like, what are some of the things that you've learned about yourself, bro? Because like revenue aside, that's not really the key thing. Like, what are some of the things that you've learned?
yeah. I mean, it's been crazy in terms of the learning curve and the things you learn when you actually do things and not just replicate information you've heard. You actually do, you have to try. There's constantly new problems that come up and new experiences that you never even thought about. And then, I mean, having you and having the community around is such a big help when it comes to that as well, because you probably had the problem and the other guys have the same problems because we run the same thing, right? And yeah, it's literally business just solving problems, and you learn so much along the way, and you learn a lot about yourself as well, right? Like how to handle emotions, how to handle stress, how you what's kind of the optimal way of you having your day set up. Like you learn a lot about yourself, and you improve a lot about yourself. You find the weaknesses really quickly. You
Yeah.
realize like you wasn't really as good as you thought you were. And that really came in for me as well. I literally my whole life I've always kind of gotten things quick. I've in sports, in school, always a little effort, and then I got pretty good results. So I thought when I came in here, I'm gonna rock this in a couple of months. Got to be the big G, and then I kind of got humbled as well, and I thought that's a really big lesson for me that um, shit's hard, And I when coming into this, I kind of felt like I saw the opportunity. I'm like, why isn't everyone doing this? Like
Yeah.
it looks unreal, right? And then you start doing it, and the problems just come. You need to solve them, and it's actually really hard.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, that's what makes it valuable, and that's what makes it feel good when you actually make it, and we actually get the clients and we actually get the results. It's all that hardship that really makes it feel good. If it was easy, everyone would do it, and it wouldn't really feel as nice. So
Yeah.
learned a ton, to say the least.
I think that's a very good learning, bro. And that is something that, again, you can use for the rest of your life, right? But I think it is good that you had that high confidence and conviction in yourself, and then you were presented an opportunity, you just took it, and then of course the online business space is portrayed like it's just about the lifestyle and it's the cool cars and this and that. But you also realize that holy shit, it's hard, right? And there's a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of responsibility that comes with it. And a lot of people would have done the opposite of you. They would have been like, this is not for me. This is a scam. What is this? This
Yeah,
it doesn't work. But you just took it, and we've seen that, and we followed your journey as well, and like the way that you just handled these hard things and just grinded, learned it, move on, right? And that is also why you consistently just jumped up next to the studies and next to the things that you're also doing, football and everything.
yeah,
So I think it's sick. It's a really healthy journey that you're on, because a lot of people also come in and then they get some money fast, and then they didn't really learn anything from it, and then they're like, "Where's the foundations?" And
yeah,
then they break. But like you, like your sales and
no.
service delivery, team members, and I think you also have some good confidence heading into the next few months here.
For sure, for sure. And it's so true what you say as well in terms of like this business model. You literally learn like everything. You learn everything, And one of my kind of strengths inside of like the academic space, like school and stuff, has always been like seeing the how you can use one thing another place and like see the similarities in between subjects. And I see like how this all these skills you learn here, like everything from getting attention, monetizing attention, sales, marketing, building a brand, short form editing, like there's so much thing you learn that can be transferred to all businesses, right? So maybe I'm not doing this in 5 years, 10 years, but I'll have a like solid foundation of all the business things you need to know to actually grow any business really. And that's huge for me as well. I mean, I remember I actually talked with Jonas, another member of Short Form Society, the other day, and I actually remembered that I was like this close, like starting a Shopify store. I was like about to click the button. I'd watched so many videos. I'd done everything right, but then I was just like, no, I didn't, because it was so many unknown things and so many problems that were ahead, and I just wasn't hungry enough, and I didn't. At the same time, I didn't have any support around me. There was so many uncertainties. But when you have a community, you have someone on the same path, you know that you can solve those problems because they have done it, and that's a huge thing for me as well. In terms of that's why I started as well. I seen 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, Liam in our group, for example, 15-year-olds doing this. Like I have an ego, right? Obviously, I have an ego, and when I see someone else can do it, I'm like, I can do it as well. Why can't I do it, right? And that's a huge thing as well. You kind of have to just be a bit, get the emotions going. Like, why can't I do this? You need to be a bit stubborn. I feel like
Yeah.
to make it work for sure.
I completely agree. Like you need ego in business, right? Like you need to be like, why is this guy doing so much better than me? Like, and then take some inspiration from the person's journey, learn from them, and then just apply it instead of
Yep.
being a bitch and like, oh, it's also because of this, oh, that. So I think it's like the perfect mentality that you have going. Do you have any tips for people that is like on the edge, right? Like maybe yourself back then, should I do this? Should I not? Can this work? Like how do we go about taking the first step? Because I still remember it was like scary as very scary when I did it, right? What did you do?
100%, bro. So the thing that kind of got me going was I looked at my life, I looked at what I'm doing day to day, I looked at my situation, and I asked myself, like, where will I end up if I keep doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? If I keep going on this path, what I'm doing day to day, where will I end up? And is that the place I would ideally like to be? And then I kind of realized maybe it wasn't. And like what? And then I started asking myself, like, what do I actually want? Where do I want to be? And as I said, I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to kind of have the freedom to do work on my own times in this. And when then I also got presented the opportunity where, online business, you could actually just work from your laptop, from your phone. That was kind of even a bonus on top of that. So when I got presented that opportunity, I was like, what's the worst thing that could happen here if I join? Right? What's the absolute worst thing that could happen if I actually put in the work, learn some things, and try out some new things? What's the worst thing that could happen? And I kind of realized it's just I'd learn some new things. It's new experiences. Most of us, living in Scandinavia, like the worst thing that could happen, we have to move. I mean, move home and get a job. Like the worst case scenario is like the normal scenario for most people. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what moved me. Like I need to find something to do every day to make sure that I end up where I want to end up. That's kind of the realization that made me actually take the choice, because I wanted to grind. I wanted to like build something and do something, but I felt I was doing the wrong things. But when I found something that I saw clearly could lead to a path I wanted to go on, then it was like, yep, I need to try this, for sure.
I think it's a very good tip. I think a lot of people are told that they need to like be very clear about their goals and dreams. I like the way that like you flipped it a bit around, right? So it's like it was a realization. It was like I have these goals and dreams which people told me to get clear and where we're going in life and have a target, but like the realization of actually realizing that I might not hit them goals if I continue with doing the things that I'm doing every single day now. Like that hurts and that gives
Yep.
you a kick in the butt. And then it's like, all right, I need to change things up. And then you're kind of like receptive to new information and new things. And then you combine it with some hard work and some high conviction and some confidence because other people like yourself did it too. And then you just trust time and
Yep.
now you're good, right? Like now you have the more than average income every single month, and it's just the beginning, and that's the coolest thing, right? It's like it's just the
That
beginning. You
is,
feel
yeah.
like every day that you wake up is like, what the fuck were I doing 6 months ago, right? Like what the hell? And now you're just
it's,
like,
it's
hey, we keep pushing.
it's absolutely crazy. And when I kind of stop back and just take the time to reflect, it's like I remember it, like when the point where I was just like the only thing that I wanted was just get one client, like because then you just see that it's real. You have the paradigm shift. A random guy I met on Zoom paid
Yep.
me money, and like what the fuck, right? It's like what is this? And then you get the paradigm shift, but then after that, it's just like you just want more and more and more and more, and you just trying to scale.
Yep.
But when you get that first client, when you get that paradigm shift, um, it's just pretty crazy. Yeah, it's unreal, to be honest.
It really is. I think what you're also experiencing now is that you just now $5,000 a month for example has become your new norm, right? Like
Yeah,
it's standard. You know that you can run a business that generates 5K per month. You know that you can manage team members. You know that you can serve clients, and you know how to get clients. So now subconsciously, it's like this is your new standard as a person, right?
yeah,
Person. And I know you also go to the gym every single day, bro. I follow along. But like you're stacking wins personally and then irrefutable standard in business. And I was like, I guarantee you, bro, if you let's say you lose a client or whatever happens, then you'd be like you'd feel anxious, right? Because fuck, my new standard for myself is 5K a month,
yeah,
and that is very healthy. To some people, it doesn't sound really healthy, but it is healthy to be in a state of progress and you set standards for yourself because that's really how we grow, right? So I think
for
that's
sure.
sick.
Yeah, for sure. And you also need to have kind of that, you know, delusional self confidence as well, that you're gonna do it, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
And when you have that, when you get that first client, you know it's possible. So it's only a matter of time before you get more. But you need to just so strongly believe in yourself. And it sounds delusional to most others, right? But you just have this so strong belief in yourself, and you see just of the fact you see that others have done it, and then you get like that one client yourself, then it is only a matter of time, but you need to put in the right work and do the right things, over a long enough period of time, it's inevitable. Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. As long as you just combine the delusional confidence with like actions, perfect
Yeah.
cocktail, right? So you have
Yeah,
the
for sure.
high conviction and then you just go in. Do you have any tips, bro, for
For
like
sure.
people that were in your shoes? Like anything you want to share?
I mean, it's pretty much just take the risk. I mean, we always hear about all millionaires. Like you've seen tons of interviews, like reels, TikToks, whatever. They say take more risks, right?
Yeah.
And then we're like, people just don't take risks at all, right? And I kind of realized as well, because I, like most people, probably hear the same thing, just save up the money and then you'll use it to buy a house, or you use it somewhere down the line, you'll use the money for something,
Yeah.
right? And you'll get the 9% a year, and it will grow in 30 years. You'll be nice. You'll get the pension. I thought of it
Yeah.
like this as well, right? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, if I was putting in the numbers and I'm trying to save this much and get 9% for 30 years and then I'll retire, right? But then I realized how much return you can make if you invest into yourself, right? Because I invested into myself through you guys, and I've made double or now I do that amount in revenue, right? A month, a year later. So it's
Yeah.
the percentage. That's not 9%. I don't even know the percent. That's a lot.
A
Um,
lot of percent.
that's a lot of percent, right? So if you invest into yourself and invest in your own business, you can make so much more than the 9% you get from your pension or whatever, right?
Completely
So
agree.
just realize that and dare to bet on yourself, because that's pretty much what you're doing. You're just betting on that you're going to make it. You're somehow just going to make the world. You're just going to solve the problems and go through with it. So definitely bet on yourself, take risks,
Yeah.
and find out where you want to go and what the steps are to get just one step closer. Because if you do that every single day, you'll get there. Like
You'll go
sooner or later.
far in life. Holy shit.
For,
One step
for
every day,
sure.
huh? But it's so true with
For
the
sure.
risk reward ratio, right? And it is being delusional that you want something and then not doing the actual thing that it requires for you to get there. And you shouldn't be like that. And I completely agree because I thought the same thing, bro. I was like 18 and I just started investing into stocks.
Yeah.
7% a year. Come on, because that's what my
That's
parents told me, right? And that's
yeah.
how I read about people's millionaires in the world. It's like they have passive income.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you just realize that imagine that you spent all your hard-earned money into something that you can't even control, right? We can't control the housing market, we can't control the stocks and the market and these things, but what you and
Yeah.
I can control is what we do in our business, right? And we know that
Yeah.
it makes us an exponential return. And also just with your
100%.
with your knowledge, right? The only thing that people can never take away from you is the things that you know and the things that you do. So it's like it's but when
100%.
you frame it like this, it's like, what are people doing, right? It's like, come on.
Yeah. That's it, bro. That's it. That's so true. So true, for sure.
Sick, bro. I think this was a good interview, and I hope
I'm glad
people
to hear,
learn
man.
something. Because I think your journey is very it's picture perfect, right? You took a risk, you knew what you wanted, you trusted the process, you trusted the time, kept stacking the skills, realized that it sucks sometimes, but you know your end destination, you know where you're going, stay true to yourself, and now you're reaping the reward from it, and you're just getting started, right? So, well
Just
done,
getting
bro. I'm
started,
proud of
bro.
you.
It's so exponential as well. People got to realize, like, you sit there and you grind and grind and grind and grind and grind and grind, nothing happens, and everyone's calling you crazy, and then
Yep,
you kind of start going a bit, and then it just comes like running, because then you get a client, and then they refer you a client, then you upsell the client, and then it's just when it first happens and people answer all DMs at one point, a newer point, because you started posting, and it's like
yep,
you just need to do the right things every day, and it will stack up and it will reap the rewards. It's
exactly.
simple but not easy.
Yep. And all of the people that called you crazy in the beginning, they're now in the DMs like, hey, Andreas, bro, how did you do it with your business? Like, what are you doing? So
Yep.
that's just how
Yeah,
it is. That's just how it
that's how
is.
it is, for
But
sure.
good
I've
shit,
been a
bro.
great call, man, or a great interview. I really appreciate it, man, for having me on, for sure.
I think
Hopefully
so.
the audience learned something new, that
Hope.
we're just normal guys. I mean, I met you in Cyprus. You
Yep.
look pretty good on camera, look pretty good in real life as well. But
Likewise.
great guy, normal guy. And just, we're just some normal guys doing the right things every
Exactly.
single day. That's it.
Fucking average. And that is also the goal with these interviews, right? Is to
Yeah,
actually show that it's me and Andreas are, we could have just been friends playing some football, but now we're just some guys running some businesses. And we
for
like
sure.
that, right? So I think
We
it
love
was a
it.
good call. It was a really good call. And people definitely learn something. I'll drop all of Andreas' socials below this video as well. Wherever you're watching it, you can go follow him and his journey and whatever he's on to. So I think that's definitely a follow worth. I know he's also sharing some good stuff on LinkedIn, especially. And you can follow his gym journey on Instagram. Now you gotta be even more committed, bro. We're calling it out here.
Oh, we're halfway there. 90-day challenge, gym every day. Come on.
God damn.
Yeah,
And now
crazy.
after the challenge, it's his standard, right? That's just how he rolls.
And I'll drop the results as well at the end, so you guys gotta
Oof.
wait for that. Woo,
We're
crazy.
staying. We're ready. Perfect, bro. And if you're
Crazy.
watching this, there's also some links for Short Form Society. If you, of course, want to be a part of the same program that Andreas is, and you can meet Andreas as well. But if not, like the main takeaway from me and Andreas is just do something. Like it doesn't matter if it's Short Form Society
Yep.
or if it's anything with business. It can also just be if you hate your job and you want to travel and just travel, see what happens. Right? You got to take some risk. That's just life.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank
100%.
you, bro, again. And thank you for watching. See you in the hopefully next one.